fasting and digestion. Fasting and digestion. Hello everyone, my name is Persohn. If you like these videos, like, share, and subscribe. You can contact me at pastor@mascot.church or in the comments below. We've been talking about fasting and some of the implications of fasting. Today we'll take a slightly different position here, a slightly different perspective, and look at digestion. You've seen a picture in the thumbnail of an outhouse and also a toilet, and you probably know where we're going with this topic. Apparently, or I've heard somewhere that there is a prayer amongst the rabbis that they pray a prayer of thanksgiving if they have a successful experience emptying their bowels. Well, I guess you can imagine what that might be like if for someone struggling in that area. So there you go. I was listening to the wonderful Wayne Pickering, the Mango Man, several years ago, and it was Dr. Pickering who taught me the 7 stages of disease. 7 stages. Let me see if I can remember them. Enervation, intoxication, irritation, inflammation, induration, ulceration, fungation. Woo! 7 stages of disease. I'm going to talk about those. You want them slower? Enervation, irritation, inflammation. Enervation, irritation, intoxication, inflammation, induration, ulceration, fungation. 7 stages of disease. When you say it fast, you remember. Anyways, he said that he was giving a lecture one time, a motivational lecture, and he was talking about health and fitness and staying fit. And he said, I've got this recipe that will help you go to the bathroom successfully. And he said it works, and it was a vegetable using okra, cooked okra. And he said he'd never seen in this large audience so many people reach for their pens and papers to try to write the recipe detail down. He thought, well, I'm onto something here. Obviously, this is a problem. Now, people often wonder, and when they find out that someone is fasting, they say, well, how does your body function? Does your body shut down? What's going on, etc.? So we're going to talk about that, but not in this first lesson necessarily. Today, I want to talk about the optimum human diet and something that will help you understand where you are and how all of this works. Now, most of us are aware that the first element of digestion takes place when we chew food. The second place takes the second and we mix it with saliva. And then it goes on to the second element of digestion, which occurs in the stomach. And the human stomach contains acid. And a lot of people don't understand what's going on with this, and I'm going to help you in this talk. Probably some of you will have digestion issues fixed immediately once you hear this, because you say, I never really heard any of this before. I'm going to put on the screen a poorly produced, just because I didn't have time to get the text right. I've got a whole lot of things going in my life, but the numbers are there anyways. List of stomach acid of God's creatures. And you're going to see something very, very interesting, okay? This will really, really fascinate you. It fascinated me. First of all, you see the text isn't very big. I haven't taken a lot of time on this. Just to give us a point of reference, lemon juice has a pH, an acidity of 2. It's very acidic. Banana has a pH of 5, milk of 6.7. So neutral is 7. The lower the number, the higher the acid. Okay? It's a little bit counterintuitive. You'd think it's the other way around, but there you go. So the lower the number, the higher the acid. It's just a thing to remember if you're new to this. So let's start looking at some of God's creatures from the lowest stomach acid up. We won't look at all of these in detail. Hey, if you want this, I'll drop it in the, I'll send it to you. I might put it in the comments. We'll see how we go. So creatures like the echidna, the llama, the camel, some monkeys, Shetland ponies have pH from 7.3, which is actually slightly acidic. The llama is 7, is neutral stomach acid. We talk about the monkey and the peccary, 5.9 and 5.8, very mild stomach acid. Let's go a little bit farther up here. The next segment, the brocket deer. So deers are ruminant animals. They chew the cud, 5.5, not acidic at all. As we become more acidic, the minke whale, common bat, don't know how to pronounce this word, so we'll just hang on with that. The hamster and the gerbil. And then a well-known animal, of course, the lamb, sheep, 4.7. So not at all acidic in comparison. Now we're going to continue to go more and more acidic, more stomach acid. The porcupine, the dog. So the porcupine, the dog, and the howler monkey all have not very acidic stomach acid, but it's there. In fact, a rat has a stronger stomach acid than a dog. Okay, so we're going to continue going on here. Look at the 4.4s. I've broken some of these apart here because they're more well-known animals. So a rat has a stomach acid of 4.4, similar to same as a horse. Okay, so 4.4. Now, we're going to continue here. Hippo, okay, guinea pig a little stronger, ox a little bit stronger, mouse a bit stronger again. Chicken, 3.7. Chicken, baboon, 3.7 stomach acid. A cat has only a slightly stronger stomach acid than a chicken. Interesting. And the cat's stomach acid is the same as the crab-eating macaque, and a little bit less than the Sykes monkey, and less again than the wombat. The wombat has a stronger stomach acid than the cat. Isn't that curious? Look at that, right? Elephant and rhino have about the same stomach acid strength as the wombat. Wombat, elephant, rhino. Okay, and this next, so we got rhino here. We know about elephants and rhinos. Okay, now, the great horned owl, 3.1. The great cormorant, 2.9, 2.8. So this stomach acid is getting a little bit stronger. The pig, 2.6. Now, if you've raised pigs, you know pigs will eat anything. They're omnivores. They can just digest anything you give them. We're still going down and getting stronger stomach acid again. So what has a stronger stomach acid than the pig? Okay, look at this list here. The snowy owl, the gentoo penguin, bottlenose dolphins, the mallard duck all have stronger stomach acid than the pig. The common starling, stronger than the pig. Okay, a rabbit has stronger stomach acid than the pig. This has to do with a different digestive tract, of course, as well, but that's interesting. But you'll just see the rabbit. Now, see, rabbits digest things very, very quickly as well. Interesting, okay? But rabbits are also, and this is also in the foregut of the rabbit as well. There's a bit more to learn about this, but here we go. And then you've got some scavengers, hawks, falcons, bitterns, okay? We're now getting down to creatures who can eat anything, okay? Nevertheless, a beaver is a herbivore, and it's got the same stomach acid as some of these, are very close to some of these scavengers. Well, let's go down the list here because this is getting really interesting. It's interesting to me. And that is that the kestrel, the gull, possum, albatross, ferret, all have stomach acids of 1.5. Very, very acidic. Very acidic, okay? And humans, omnivores, have a stomach acid of 1.5, and it can go down as low as 1. Can you see that? We have a stronger stomach acid than dogs, than ducks, than anything on this list. A stronger stomach acid than elephants, stronger than a mouse, stronger than a rat. Okay? Very, very interesting. Let's go back up to the human list, and let's go a little further. Now, it says it can go down as low as 1, so 1.5 is on the high side. Okay? Well, let's have a look at where we are now. The moran is an omnivore with a 1.4. The common crow, you hear the crow outside? Scavenger, 1.3. The little owl is a scavenger. The barn owl, the bald eagle is a scavenger, 1.3, 1.2. This is an oyster catcher. I think this is a bird. It might be, I'm not sure. Good question. 1.2. But here, look, the vulture, 1.2, and the common buzzard, 1.1, and the hyena, 1. Okay? So the buzzard, the vulture, the hyena, very, very low. Humans are in that territory and can go down this low. Imagine that you could get to the place that humans can have a stomach acid as strong as a hyena. Now let's also note that in terms of stomach acid strength, the strongest measured is the hyena. The strongest. It's right down that strong. So think about this now. Your stomach acid is stronger than any of those great carnivores, the big cats, the lions, whatever. A vulture and a hyena can eat animals that just stink terribly. Like, you see a dead cow or something on the road and it's been hit by a truck. A few days later, it's dead and it's smelling. What animals can eat that? The vulture can eat it. We don't have hyenas in this country, but hyenas can eat it, digest it perfectly. And your stomach acid is in that same territory. Now, here's a couple of little things to talk about before we get on to this, before we wrap this up today, because I don't want it to be long, but I do want you to think about this. there's a very bad thing that happens as we get a bit older. We have a lot of people experience, well, even younger people experience a thing called GERD or reflux, where you have this burning sort of, man, that just burns. And it's a kind of a, after eating or whatever, you perk a little bit of something acidic up. You go to your doctor, and the doctor gives you what I'm going to say is wrong advice. This is not medical advice, but I'm going to say, in this case, I believe the doctor to be wrong. And there is a growing school of thought that says, yes, this is wrong. They'll give you an antacid. They give you an antacid to make your stomach acid less strong. And they'll say to you, well, your stomach acid is too strong. Well, here's a question, ladies and gentlemen. How does a good thing like stomach acid get stronger and better as you get older? As you get older, everything wears out. I mean, I'm soon to be 64 next month, and things are not what they used to be. Let me tell you, when I was 30. I'm probably faster because I wasn't running when I was 30, but if I was running when I was 30, it'd be no comparison, okay? As you get older, your body produces less of good things. So what's going on? Well, what happens is there's a little valve that sits at the top of the stomach, and if the stomach acid is too low, the valve doesn't close properly. And you push, and stomach acid continually bubbles up, and it burns the bottom of the esophagus. So what does the doctor do? On the other hand, he or your pharmacist, they tell you to take a over-the-counter medication that drops your stomach acid so that even if it pops up and gurgles up there, it doesn't burn the bottom of your esophagus. That's not solving the problem. That's making the problem much worse. That is creating an environment where proteins cannot be exposed to stomach acid to break them down, so they're not digested properly. I know of people who can't have any meal without having a stomach acid tablet. Effectively, I'm convinced that is a wrong way of handling the world. And what you should do instead is have apple cider vinegar or something before the meal to make your stomach acid stronger. Be sure you're eating enough salt, maybe bile salts, what other things, whatever, which are the raw ingredients for stomach acid production. Can you tell I'm a bit passionate about this? Why is this relating to fasting? Well, we'll see that in the next video where we talk about fasting and elimination and what the colon does and so on. But right now, I've got to say, a fundamental challenge and a fundamental issue that affects all of our digestion across the board is the quality of the gastrointestinal tract, the GI tract. And we're looking at stomach acid to say, what is the optimum food that humans should be eating? Well, I can tell you straight away, the optimum food humans should be eating is not vegetables. It's not high fiber. It's actually animal products, which break down perfectly. Now you say, Al, wow, yeah. The majority of vegetables are actually toxic. They're actually not digestible. The reason for having them is to stimulate a bit of a toxic response, but they really are pretty much unnecessary in my understanding today. Now that's a bit of a step back from where I was years ago, but I've finally come to understand that. Now, this has a strong effect on what happens when you fast. When you realize that your body perfectly digests animal products, it doesn't digest things like nuts and seeds and grains and green vegetables and fruit very well at all. Why? Well, look at the stomach acid thing. The kind of creatures that live on those have very low stomach acid in a different digestion modality than what we have. We are actually obligate omnivores. Now, down below, I'm going to put a link to a video by Dr. Ken Berry about the question of does meat rot in your colon? And it's a very, very interesting video. Don't take my word for this question. Take his as well and understand what he has to say. So, how does this all work when you fast? Because this is a series about fasting. Fundamentally, if you're on the optimum human diet, the whole issue of will my body continue to clean itself out and so on during a fast, will it start again when a fast is over, is very simple. Everything works fine. Your body will clean itself out for a couple of days when you start a fast. It'll shut down, it'll go quiet, and then on the day after you go back to eating, as long as you're eating good quality animal products, very small amount of fiber is probably okay, a little bit of that sort of stuff, but good quality animal products, things will start up again as normal. You say, wow, that's really interesting. You will have a lot more problem if you have a high fiber, high fruit, high vegetable diet for reasons which we shall discuss later on. Fundamentally, the short form is those things basically are hard to or barely digestible. I hope you got something out of this today. What is my time? I like to keep these videos down to just about this 15-minute mark. Okay? I'll post Dr. Barry's very important video below. Happy to engage you in comments, emails, whatever. pastor@mascot.church. None of this is medical advice. This is, I am critical of doctors' advice on this, but hey, listen, it's not medical advice. Should everybody fast? Oh, no. No, people who are too thin, pregnant women, so on. I've given a list of that. This is from my own personal experience. Truly, I think, though, this will benefit you. God bless you. My name is Persohn. Hopefully, we can catch up again soon.